We're going to take our first email question here, folks. Let's go to that. A little bit off topic, but we can go over it just a little bit. And actually, I think you might have something to help out here. I own a rental house that was leased to a tenant who has had someone else living there. This other person invited a friend, so we've now got a second person in and their dog, and the dog bit the friend. It says their dog. I don't know if it's their dog meaning the first person or the second person, but anyways, the dog bit somebody. Yeah. The person bit is suing me as the landlord. I had no insurance on the house at the time. Oh, we need to talk about that. Otherwise, I would turn it over to the insurance company. I didn't see where any blame can be put on me, for I am not allowed in the house during the lease period. Please advise. And this is Brian. So Brian, kind of the first thing we want to talk with you about is if you have rental property, you need to take special precautions to protect yourself. If you have enough assets that you can set aside and have a rental property, probably the first thing you need to do is go out and get insurance. And of course, getting insurance after the fact is not going to help you in this particular instance, but it's something that would help you in the future. As far as the legal aspect of it, in all three states, Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, the landlord typically is not responsible for an animal bite that occurs on the property. And I say typical, there are some exceptions to it. However, the owner of the dog is strictly liable, meaning regardless kind of what happened, unless the dog was provoked, was being agitated in some way and then reached out and bit somebody to protect itself, then typically the person who has the vehicle, the person who has the dog is going to be responsible for the dog bite, and typically not the landowner. But you saw this question come up, John, and you also had another response that dovetails right into the show here. So
a little bit. I like this because it's like a law school question.
It is, yes, it is.
Spot some issues is what you got to do.
A bar exam question, if
That's
you will.
it.
Yeah.
Even better. That's the one you really got to pass.
Right.
So the things that I thought about, and Larry touched on them about insurance. If you have rental property, what you really also want to do is probably have that in some sort of business legal entity like an LLC. It's going to give you a little added protection as well for these liability issues. And then beyond that, where we would come in is maybe you want to put that into a trust, something that's going to further protect you and your heirs and those kind of things going down the road. But that's something we can get into later.
I think so. So Brian, yeah. Some advice for the future, and you know, it's something that you do need to seek an attorney about, because if you get sued and you don't answer that lawsuit, then you can be held liable for it. So if you do get lawsuit papers, you need to seek out the advice of an attorney immediately.